So the Modern Warfare Beta Weekend number 1 has concluded, and Infinity Ward has addressed some of the feedback that fans have given them, and it's really not looking so good, my friends. It's pretty frustrating and disappointing. We're going to talk about this here in this video. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. If you guys are new around here, be sure to stick around for more. We do variety gaming content, gameplays, walkthroughs, let's plays, guides, gaming news, whatever, you name it, we got it. For Nintendo, though, it goes on to different channels, so you can check that out. Links in the description below. All right, what are we talking about here, man? This is just not good, dude. Like, this is very, very frustrating because Infinity Ward has basically just come out and said, you know, just kind of doubled down on some of the things that they got feedback for. I've been on the Reddit, so they had a Reddit post for people to give feedback and whatnot. I browsed the responses a good amount, and then of course on Twitter, and the biggest thing that almost everybody is saying unanimously, like just as a whole, is to bring back the classic traditional mini map. They've done it again. So in the first reboot of Modern Warfare 2019, they had taken away the ability to see enemy firing on the mini map, and they threw it into the compass, and no one likes it. No one likes it at all. I think it's a very, very, very tiny fraction of people that might actually enjoy that. But the large majority of people, and if you go through these responses of feedback and on Twitter and on Reddit and everywhere else, most people do not like this. And for good reason. It's not a good change at all. But they're doubling down on it, and I'm gonna read to you guys what they said in just a second. But it's weird that they did this in 2019 and then they did revert. You gotta give them credit for that. Back in 2019 they reverted and they're like, all right, we'll listen to the community feedback. Then Modern Warfare 2 comes out, the beta comes out, and we all see that there is a perk that is specifically to have that functionality. And so we're all like, okay, dude, seriously, like why would you do this again? You heard the community in 2019, you listened to everybody back then with the traditional mini map, and now you're doing it again. Like, why are you so so bent on doing or implementing this? It just makes no sense. And it's just crazy. And what they've said is the most face-palming response that I think I could ever see from a developer. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe to some people, but a lot of people are saying, like, dude, like, what is this? This is a whack response, man. So let me throw it up on screen. And they've addressed other stuff too, but we're gonna start with the mini map. So this is what they said. They said, currently in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, we only show enemy player dots when a UAV is active. Now here's the kicker. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Anyways, we also want players to actively search out the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. Really, I mean, after beta weekend number 1, it was practically unanimous. The entire community almost, like the large majority said, we don't like this, reverted back. That was the number 1 thing. And they come out and they just doubled down. And their reasoning sounds just, listen, guys, I want to, before I keep digging into this, I want to really, really state this one thing. If you've been around my channel for long enough, you know that I am the first person to give constructive criticism. I don't just trash developers. I don't like going that route at all. I think it's pointless. That's not what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing is giving extremely strong criticism and feedback to something that I think is just stupid, just plain stupid. I can understand what they're trying to, their idea. I can understand their thought process behind it, but nobody likes it. Why would you do that? And that one sentence, the design reason is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. I mean, what? I mean, are we all, what's the next step? We're just going to take weapons out of the game and it's just going to be Care Bears giving each other hugs, and that's how you're going to score points? We're just going to come and kumbaya in a big circle or something? Like, that's the most crazy thing I've ever heard, is that you don't want to punish players for firing their weapons. I mean, that is the point. that's kind of the point. You need to decide, are you going to go and engage? Are you going to go and take that shot knowing there's a risk, number one, that people are going to hear you, and number two, that you're going to show up as a red dot on the mini map. The other part that they said is we want players to actively search out the origin of gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the mini map. Here's the thing. Let's say someone's shooting, okay? And you see a red dot on the mini map, right? Number one, if they're not in your close proximity, you're going to see the general direction they're in, but you're not going to see the exact, spot on the map unless they're close to where you are. That's number one. So you still have to search it out. Number two, that player could end up moving, right? So you can see the red dot, and that gives you a general idea of the direction. Again, it's very vague even then, unless they're camping really hard, which then, again, for campers, it's kind of like, well, hey, it's a risk versus reward. You know that if you don't have a silencer put on that weapon, if you're a camper, you're going to show up on the mini map and you better be moving around, and it's going to discourage camping a little bit. So if anything, this is just going to encourage like hardcore camping, to a greater degree, and get, players more stationary and less moving, which I get is part of a play style. But again, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because again, like I said, you still have to actively search it out, and you don't even know, right? You might see a red dot, but number one, you don't know what direction that player's facing. Number two, you don't know if they're still there, like I said. Number three, I mean, who knows if like I said, like if they're not in your proximity, who knows really exactly where they are? You got a general idea. You got to go in that direction. All you know, go in that direction, whether it's like, let's say north, go north and search out in that north kind of vicinity, if you will, right? To see like, hey, are they over there? Did they move? Where are they? I don't know. To me, it's just crazy. I could go on and on and on about that one topic alone, but we got to wrap this up. So let me just throw up the next portion up on screen, because the bigger thing, the other two big things is the perk system, the new perk system, and dead silence. I will talk about dead silence, which this is throw it on the screen first. Okay, so they said for the perk system, they've seen varied feedback on it. Some players love it, others feel it's unnecessary. Me personally, I'm in the middle, by the way. I'm just like, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm good with it either way. They said we feel it's nice to shake up how the perks work, and how the general progression of a match. And I said that too when I seen the perk system. Like, it kind of makes sense in how a match progresses, and people don't all start off with Ghost, for example, but in the second half of a game, you got to think about the game differently, because people have their bonus and their ultimate perks by then, most likely. So it kind of switches how you think. But I get it. But like I said, some people don't like it, some people do like it. I think this is one that people are more 50-50. You guys can let me know in the comment section below. As for dead silence, again, I think a lot of people don't like that it's a field upgrade, and they would like to see it as a perk instead. But there's one thing I do want to note about this. So they did mention that they believe it's important to a game, to game health, that rushers are not able to move at high speeds without consequence. Dead silence as a field upgrade creates a balance between freedom and movement and predictability of combat. So they talked about that. Now, again, a lot of people are torn on this. There's one thing I thought of that I think makes sense with dead silence, is that if it was a perk, it would probably be in the bonus or the ultimate perk, most likely the ultimate perk slot. So you wouldn't have it right away anyways. But I guess that also goes back to people's argument against the new perk system as a whole, anyways. So if it wasn't the new perk system and it was a perk, then you would always have it, if it was the old perk system. So I guess there's that. But with the new perk system, it makes more sense as a field upgrade, because you're going to get it more, especially if you put the perk, I think it's like called overclock or something. You regenerate your field upgrade 40% faster. It is an ultimate perk, so you got to wait till like the second half of the game, most likely, kind of. But unless you're playing super good and you get it and unlock it even sooner. But it makes more sense as a field upgrade with the new perk system. If it was an old perk system, I would agree with the arguments, right? That dead silence should just be a perk. But with the new perk system, you're going to get it far more as a field upgrade, as opposed to if it was an ultimate perk or a bonus perk. So it's kind of like there's a lot of variables here. So I don't know, man. The biggest thing to me is like the red dot. And the thing is, it doesn't make sense, right? Because in one sense, some people feel like they're catering too heavy to casuals. On another sense, I would argue it's kind of the opposite in a way, right? It's kind of like they're catering more to competitive kind of style more. And the reason I say that is, let's just take skill-based matchmaking just for an example. example, skill-based matchmaking puts everybody kind of against their own kind of skill level, right? And by doing that, you're creating a more competitive environment, right? So in a sense, it caters to casuals in the sense that it's like they're not going to get so frustrated because they're getting smoked every game that they just quit playing the game. But at the same time, everybody is basically like a hidden ranked mode, right? It's basically like you're playing ranked, but it's like the ranking system is kind of hidden under a veil or something, you know what I mean? It's like, because technically speaking, you know, depending on your skill set, you might be in like a bronze tier or a silver tier. So it's like you're pretty much playing ranked play with this kind of skill-based matchmaking. It's just hidden from you. You don't visually see a representation of which tier you're in or whatever. And so I think in a sense, some of these, you know, quote unquote, you know, casual catering, you know, features are still more competitive than casual. I think casual is when they had it like in the original Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, where explosives were, you know, explosives. They did damage. Now explosives basically tickle you like a feather. Where, you know, people, showed up on the mini map where streaks actually were super OP. And if you got a good streak like a chopper gunner, you were destroying. You were going on, you were getting like 10 to 20 kills with that chopper gunner. Now you can barely get 2 kills with the chopper gunner in the new Modern Warfare 2. I've gotten it like 5 times, and out of 5 times that I've gotten it, I probably got 2 kills out of 5. I don't mean 2 kills each time. I mean 2 kills out of 5 different times having it, right? So in total, it's weird. The streaks are not good right now. I hope they're gonna tweak that, but the streaks are extremely underwhelming in my opinion in Modern Warfare 2. It's just not good. It's not fun at all. I miss the days where it's like, you know, I was talking to my buddies the other day, and I was saying, man, original Modern Warfare 2, you got a Harrier, and you knew that Harrier was going to get you a Pavlo, right? Because the streaks, right? The streaks counted towards your other streaks. So if your Harrier got like the next 3 kills, those were 3 kills to your next streak, which was normally the Pavlo, and then a nuke. And you'd see nukes all the time. You know, you could not go 10 games without seeing a nuke, which was part of the fun. It was so, guys, when's the last time you've seen a nuke in a Call of Duty game? It's probably been a while. I'm not saying you haven't seen it, but it's very, 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 very rare. And it's just like, that's again, more catering to the competitive side and trying to overbalance everything. And that just sucks the life and the fun out of it. I go to Destiny as an example. When Destiny 2 came out, they were super, Bungie that is, were super bent on making it super competitive. All the PvP was 4v4. It was just bland. All the weapons were overbalanced. They started listening to the community and they realized, okay, we hear you. You know, part of the fun is having those overpowered weapons. And so each season they allow, you know, certain weapons to be overpowered in the game and give you that, you know, super crazy, awesome feel. They started adding more casual playlists back, like more 6v6 playlists and just kind of more fun. And it's more fun. There's a lot more life. Is it as fun as Destiny 1 was? No, it still feels a little bit too overbalanced in my opinion compared to what Destiny 1 was. That's just my opinion. And it's the same thing with Call of Duty. They're just, most first-person shooters, sadly, they're just too like hyper focused on just making everything overbalanced and super, you know, balanced and super competitive. And even the things that people think are more catering to casuals are often just part of, you know, making the environment more competitive for everybody. Because again, if you stick you know, low tier players and high tier players in the same lobby, that's more of a casual experience, even if the lower tier people are getting smoked. But if you put them all in their own skill set, then that's more of a competitive environment for each, you know, category, right? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It's really frustrating to hear that, you know, that just to see the state of a lot of first-person shooters in general is just really unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I just don't get it. And it's weird because some people think that the whole red dot thing is Infinity Ward trying to cater to casual players. I don't know. I don't see it that way personally. Like I said, I see it from a different perspective, like kind of a flip side of it. And it's just frustrating because Modern Warfare 2 has a lot of potential. It could be an amazing game. I was having a lot of fun with the beta, but at the same time, I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was enjoying what is foundationally there, but I had a lot of gripes with it, and I was like, man, I took to Reddit myself and put a list of stuff that I thought, you know, needed to be changed personally. but it's frustrating. It's very frustrating because it's kind of a mess. And I'll leave it at this. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys remember Mark Rubin, but Mark Rubin was the executive producer at Infinity Ward for 10 years. He actually tweeted at Charlie Intel saying that very thing. He noted that he was the exec producer for 10 years, that he made COD 4, he made Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Ghosts. And right now he's at Ubisoft and he's making a new arena shooter. He noted to Charlie Intel that they posted about lobbies, minimap, and skill-based matchmaking Modern Warfare 2. He says, we intend to get those right. I'd love to hear what else you'd like to see better. So it's kind of a shameless plug that he's doing, but the point is that, you know, even someone who used to work on COD back in the day in its prime, I mean, COD 4, MW2, MW3, you know, probably all the way up to Ghost, really, was pretty prime, right? Those were the good days, if you will. So to hear him kind of chime in on it as well is very interesting. So I just wanted to leave it at that. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm extremely frustrated with it. I'm not gonna lie. It's a huge turnoff to COD. I barely played Vanguard because to me it was just such a mess, and you know, it just feels like the community's never listened to. I don't know if it's both the devs and the higher ups at Activision. I don't know if it's just an Activision thing that's being influenced, and that, you know, the devs don't have as much freedom. I don't know who the blame falls on, but whoever it is, man, they got to change, because this is not good, and this is just sucking the life out of COD. Like, if it's gonna be this way, I don't know how much multiplayer I'm gonna want to play this year, man. That 2 years, we got to go through this cycle for 2 years, and I just wish they would do better and just stop overbalancing everything. Like, just let things just be fun, you know, let explosives be, you know, powerful, and streaks be powerful, and this and that. Like, you're all about fun, you say. That's their motto with Modern Warfare 2. We're all about fun. And you can kind of see that in certain ways, like, you know, with some of the new game modes, but in other ways it's just like you're sucking the fun right out of it, and it's just disappointing as a Call of Duty veteran to see. It's very disappointing. So anyways, that's my long stretched out rant for today. I made this video way longer. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys soon in another one. Until then, my friends, game on. Thanks for watching.